What is up, YouTube? Thank you so much for checking out the video. I am your host, Dante. Welcome to the VibeLyfePodcast, and we are going to go through this debate, a critical debate, no pun intended, with Mr. Roland Martin in the PBD podcast. So let's go ahead and play the clip. Let's get this debate started.
In American crime ran by Democrats. Why?
First, I will tell you.
Tell us.
First of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you have had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No, hold on. Here's the deal, though. Okay, I will show you how Mississippi has the largest percentage of black people in America.
Okay, my biggest thing about this whole entire thing is this, all right? There are a lot of people that are within unfortunate circumstances in America, and they're able to overcome. Roland Martin, he is a prime example of that, okay? So one thing that I never understood is people like Roland Martin, he calls it being arrogant, but people like Roland Martin, instead of helping and showing how to do what he did, he wants to push the whole victim narrative. Okay, this gentleman to the left, he's not even from America. He's going to explain in a minute and everything, but it's going to completely contradict what he is saying. But the problem with black media and gentlemen like Mr. Roland Martin, he wants to be an apologist. He wants to make excuses. He wants to blame the systemic racial society for the downfall for black people, to where we're not accountable for our own actions, but they are. That's utterly ridiculous. But yeah, let's play clip.
Run by Republicans, broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Tell me when you have. Hold on. Wait.
Don't spin.
No, I'm not spinning.
No, don't.
No. What I'm
Let's
showing
stay
you.
on topic.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Let's stay on topic.
We're
the
on
topic
topic.
is crime 27 out of 30, not economic. Economic is a different story.
No, it's not.
But I agree with you that we need to get the financial situation.
No. And you're making the mistake.
You went to Mississippi. No, you're making the mistake.
No. Here's the mistake you're making.
27 out of 30.
Here's the mistake you're making. When you say crime, I just obliterated.
You didn't obliterate anyone. If anything is, if you had a debate with certain people, you know how to debate. There's people who have, inaccurate perspectives, but are intelligent enough to outspeak the person. And based upon what I saw, that's what you did. But you have a misconception about facts and opinions, and you think that your opinions are actually facts, and they're not. Okay? Play clip.
A black conservative on my show on this whole issue. When you say crime, you have to then say, okay, what creates crime? No, what creates crime? What creates crime?
When people are not doing well financially.
What else?
Your surrounding and environment, who you're around.
No, what else?
Pick up habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. What else? See, you're jumping to policies.
But it is bad policies. Wait a minute.
No.
Every single thing that this gentleman speak is a contributing factor to crime rate. Okay? Now, understand the situations and circumstances. People will commit, petty theft and stuff like that. That is understandable to the degree, but while at the same time we have to be held accountable for our actions as adults. When you're men and women in society, there's no excuse or reason for actions in which that you take. Because if that were the case, if you were to go to court, the judge would be like, okay, well, you're poor, so I'm not going to put this consequence on you. There's consequences to your actions, okay? So whatever things that you decide to do is going to be the outcome of your situation. All right? Play clip.
Need a company.
No.
Roland,
the underpinning.
Roland,
Hold on, wait.
If I run a company and I'm the CEO of the company, If the company improves or doesn't improve is based on my policies. I'm the head running the company, the department. If it doesn't improve, it's because of me.
So
That is a very, very great and important point. Now, let me explain to where I feel as if the contradiction comes in. The contradiction comes in this, okay? The Democratic leaders that are in charge of these cities, they are voted in. And who is the biggest advocate for voting? Mr. Roland Martin. He had no problem getting on his platform, bashing Mr. Herschel Walker and saying that the alternative is where you should go. Talk about the way he's speaking, all these other things. So if you're not going to sit up here and hold any responsibility to the Democratic leadership in these cities, in these areas that have crime, then what is the point of you encouraging senators, mayors, anybody on the local level? Because the people in the local level and everything, these are the ones who get the taxpayer dollars and allocate the funds for these cities. Okay? Play clip.
So let me.
What else would it
So
be?
let me lay it out to you again.
Go for it.
When you talk about what is the underpinning of crime, John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, this is what he said. He said, "Show me a community where you've seen a riot with a credit score of 700 or higher." The reality is, when you talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing, you're talking about health.
Okay. Education. All right. That is the biggest one thing, right? Okay. This is how this goes. All right. When you have crime rate, okay, a high crime rate, the schools are being paid by the property taxes of these houses in these communities. So the property value of those houses go down when crime rate goes up. Okay? So when it comes to the black community and everything and this whole entire no snitch movement, and you got people like you who's actually came out of a bad situation and did something good with yourself, and instead of speaking to these people about proper policing and in the communities and how to reduce the crime rate so we can increase the value of the neighborhood, we don't have that discussion. It's all about this systemic plot to keep us down, but there's so many examples of people like you and I that look just like us that got out of the situation and did something with themselves. A little story about me. I'm from one of the cities in which you just speak of. I'm from Mississippi. So I'm very, very familiar with Mississippi and how poor and ragged it is. Okay? And then you say you're from Texas. I'm in Texas right now too. So I have experiences with both of those areas that you're going to be speaking on. Sir, Mr. Martin, Mr. Apologist, play clip.
Mm-hmm. Show me areas where you do not have high crime. I'm going to show you areas that don't have the same, aren't as compacted. That's first. What you have is, when you talk about crime in places, you then look at what are the numbers of people there, what are the pockets there, what are those communities, and how did those communities, how were they created literally not over 20, 30 years, but literally over 50, 75, 100 years. Now, that was Jim Crow.
How many years does it take to change?
What are you talking about?
How many years does it take to create change?
When you have,
how long does it take to create change?
First of all, you're talking about a black in America.
How long does it take to create change?
When you have had,
yeah.
He is a minority in America as well. Okay?
Okay. Walk through 243 years of slavery, 92 years of Jim Crow, and then you get to 1970 when you are technically fully free. You can't act like all of that before did not impact. The issues that you're having now have to do with not Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still.
why in modern day time right now does this have to do with the Jim Crow? Jim Crow does not exist. Okay? We're not going through that right now. And then one fascinating thing about this entire situation is this. Okay? During the Jim Crow era compared to now, and in terms of the black community, you know what we had then that we don't have now? Is the structure and stability of actual family and not the predominance of father absence. Now, in that time, the actual racial injustices was going on, but we still had a sense of unity and understanding. We sit up here, we worked together and everything. We understood what a man was. We understood what a woman was. And we understood that we had to take care of our future generations. Nowadays, all we got is nothing but excuses. And we want to be paid reparations for something that our ancestors had to go through. We are the most freest, the most unappreciative, the most... It just do not make any sense to me. We have all of the opportunities. Back then, we didn't have black mayors, black police chiefs, black presidents, black owned businesses, black platforms. The highest paid athletes, the highest paid actors, actresses. We didn't have all of that. We didn't have affirmative action. We didn't have CEOs. We didn't have the opportunity for ownership. Now, the funniest thing about the whole thing about the opportunity for ownership, we don't even take advantage of it the way that we should. I feel like it's utterly disrespectful for the ones who fought for us to be in the position in which we are in. And we're sitting up here just begging and blaming everybody else but us, ourselves. We're not responsible for the crime or our own community. It's the white man's job. We don't take the responsibility for that. But we got people on here and everything that just saying, hey, man, like, yeah, it's fucked up. I know the crime rate is high, but it's not Democratic leadership. But even though it's not the Democratic leadership, I am going to sit up here and be a cheerleader for these Democrats that's going to be in leadership, campaign for them without being paid, and say, hey, you need to go vote for this guy. Don't vote for the opposition. Mr. Martin, yeah, play clip.
To act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? You know who created it? The realtors. They apologized for it.
Why are you going away from the question?
Yes, sir. Why are you going away from the questions? And no, sir, it wasn't the realtors that created discrimination. People in general discriminate against each other for whatever reason. Because you're a woman, because you're a man, because you're gay, because you're black, because you're Asian, because you're short, because you're fat. Maybe you're not smart. Maybe you think you're too smart. Maybe you think you're too good for your own group. People discriminate against people for multiple reasons. It did not just birth and come from realtors. Are you kidding me?
No, because
Roland,
here's the deal, though. You don't want to deal with what creates crime areas.
You got to realize this. Listen,
I'm dealing with the real truth. How they create it. What you're dealing with is, there are democratic areas. What I'm dealing with is how do you deal with the historical reality of neighborhoods that simply can't be just, we elected one person and they're just going to change it.
Roland,
Doesn't work that way.
Roland, I'm Middle Eastern, okay? I was born in Iran, 10 years. My mother's a communist. My dad's an imperialist. We escape. We go to Germany. I lived at a refugee camp for 2 years, okay? Right. with people who are Yugoslavian, Czech, Albanian at the time, and they're all leaving for a reason. I come to the States, okay? I'm a welfare baby. I'm a food stamp baby.
Okay.
Just letting you know, my parents are divorced twice in 20 years. I'm going to Glendale High School. I have a lunch ticket. I would sell because I don't have any money. I'm 6'1", 130 pounds. That should tell you the fact that we don't come from a lot of money. One day, I'm in the school, and my teacher starts talking about politics. Up until that point, when I think about politics, all I think about is divorce. Because I think about my mom and dad arguing all the time. I don't have a lot of pain linked to politics at the time. And the teacher's going to be a Democrat because she's presenting how rich people are this rich. I'm like, okay, great, rich people are bad. So I come home.
I obviously
13-1. That's the number. That's
dude.
a
I
stat.
had a whole lot of damn Republican teachers in my life.
Well, I like stats. And
okay. Oh, okay. He, like I said, that is a very, very good point. Okay, and it's just like, it's amazing to me that people can come from third world countries. Okay, the poverty and the argument that you were just sitting up here describing about not having the things that people need to live and survive. These people are coming from third world countries, and you're like, the fact of the matter is, the poorest black person that's in America has an upper hand from people who are fleeing to this nation. So if just like people from Africa and everything that's coming from Nigeria or any of these areas and stuff, and they seek to come here for a better life and a better opportunity, why is it that when they come from over to that country to over here, they excel and prosper when they share the same reflection as you and I, and would be more subject to even more discrimination because of their accent and their culture? It just do not make any sense. What you're saying and everything does not make any sense, because your argument is what you're saying, and then you have examples of people that look just like you and me, and then other people that's coming from other countries that are extremely poor that make it. And then you also have people just like yourself and me as well, because, you know, Mississippi is not a very rich place from, well, my small town of Clarksdale. Very, very impoverished. So when you look at the anecdotal, what I just said, your story, this guy's story, and then the actual reality, then what the heck are you talking about? It's not an excuse. Okay? Because you're poor does not give you the right to go rob a liquor store and take from that person. It doesn't give you the right to sit up here and go rape somebody. It doesn't give you the right to commit murder, to steal. It does not give that person that right. And then when the people make these mistakes, instead of saying, hey man, let's figure out something else to do because this is not working and it's ruining our community, you want to sit up here and blame Republicans and blame it on systemic racism. You want to hold everybody else accountable but us. That is why you're ridiculous. Play clip.
And the stats are 13-1 is Democrats to Republican. You know the stats. So I come home and I say, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she said, we're Democrats. I said, tell me why. She says, because the Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. So my mom says. You know what I told her? I said, when I grow up, I want to be a Republican. Not because I want to be a Republican. I don't know what the policies are.
So first of all, who's actually for the rich and the poor? Who?
Who is for the rich and the poor?
She said it. She said Republicans are for the rich, Democrats are for the poor. Is that you say you love? Is it true or not?
First of all,
is it true or not?
Whether that's true, statistically, more rich people are on the Democratic side today than the Republican side.
But no. You say who are for, not who's rich, but who are they for, the policy.
But Roland, you're smart.
No, your mom
wait a minute,
said it.
I understand. But you're a smart guy, bro. Listen, when I watch you, you're not a dummy. You're very smart, okay? So sometimes John Maxwell said something very important that I completely held to myself. And every time I break this, I don't like it. He said, the moment you learn sales and you learn persuasion, okay? The moment you learn the ability how to persuade, you, me, we learn how to persuade. He says, be very careful to not go one step above that, which is to manipulate just to win all arguments, because you can. You can win any argument if you want to. You can play devil's advocate and flip the argument, play the Republican side, and you make one hell of an argument to beat a Democrat, because you can do that. You have the ability, I have the ability as well. I don't want to do that. What I'm asking you right now is the following. Results. Today,
Yes.
27 out of 30 cities
Yes.
that are ran by Democrats are the highest crime in America. That's stats.
And what states are those in? What are those states?
The states are different than the community.
New York, Chicago,
No,
LA.
but that's not the thing. The state is the community. The city is where.
What are you talking about?
The city you're in is what you can touch. Every year you come up and you say, "Re-elect me. I can
touch
help."
the state. Listen, I am born and raised in Texas, Houston, Clinton Park.
Shout out to Houston.
To act as if. What? No.
Oh, so then what you're saying is, let's stop voting for mayors. They're a waste of time.
No, see,
because they can't do anything.
First of all, I didn't say that. Let me finish my thought. I am born and raised in Houston, Texas. Grew up in Clinton Park neighborhood. To act as if what happens in Austin does not have an impact on Houston is crazy.
You're making excuses now.
No, I'm not.
You're making excuses.
Okay, here's
now.
the deal, though.
Yeah,
Here's the deal, though. See, it's real easy to say it's excuses when I'm stating facts. And the point I'm stating is...
That's not a fact. That's just an opinion.
No, it's a fact. The state of Texas significantly has an impact economically, educationally on what happens in Houston. That's a fact.
Yeah, but...
As somebody who, as a kid, traveled with my mom to rallies and events with the Metropolitan Organization and the state capitol, I understand.
Did you grow up rich?
Who?
Did you grow up rich?
No, my parents didn't even go to college.
How are you rich then?
What do you mean how?
How are you rich?
Here's how.
How are you rich?
No, here's how.
This is how you're rich. You took advantage of opportunities that were presented to you. You saw people doing things that they shouldn't, and you decided to go to a different path. You also had two parents in your household. Okay? That is how. But let's see how he answered this.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, the neighborhood that I grew up in it was one of the first master plan communities by HUD. What you had in my neighborhood was you had folks, first of all, I had mom and dad, one, who also
married together.
Hell yeah, they're still married, 56 years, who absolutely believed in education. Now, what I recognize is, so for me, in my household, what my parents emphasized, never went to college. Then my brother went to Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. My sister went to Texas A&M. And so that was our house. What I recognize is that somebody who is next door or across the street or around the corner did not have the situation that I had. Now, I totally get that.
Hold up. Okay. You just said that you were in a community that had HUD. Okay? So the community is going to consist on the people that's next door to you, around the corner or whatever. And these people have the same exact opportunity that you did. Okay? And your siblings. All right? So, if you were able to do something, you're black, and these other people and stuff around you, they're black as well, just because they did not take advantage of the opportunity in which that you and your siblings took advantage of, does not mean that it's not their fault or not their responsibility. If they decide to take a path, go down the road in which is considered to be failure or does not have the level of reward of opportunity in which that you are indulging in, that does not mean that you're going to strip the responsibility from that person for making the wrong choice. Does not make any sense. Like you are contradicting yourself while you were speaking. based upon what you're saying, you shouldn't be in the position in which that you are in. I don't understand how a systemic racial system is going to allow minorities to be in the position in which they are in. Why would a racist company have a black CEO? Make that make sense. And when a black person gets to that level, and if he doesn't have this anti-American mindset, then he is a sellout or he's a freaking Uncle Tom. Because he is a contradiction of what you are speaking about. The reality of what he is achieving is a contradiction of this narrative. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing this. Play clip.
What I don't do is be arrogant enough to say, well, I did this. Why can't you?
What?
Because I understand.
What? So what? Let me get this straight. You want the betterment for the black community, correct? So, if you are an example, then why wouldn't a person who is not in a position in which that you are in follow your example? It's like the whole entire structure of the family. The father grinds and does whatever it is so he can be an example to his son, so his son knows what to do to take care of community and family. So, according to you, it is arrogant to sit up here and say, I did it, so why can't you do it? That is arrogant. That sounds like a pretty reasonable question, if you ask me. If I did it, why can't you? This is the most, oh, God.
In that not everyone has the exact same setup, the same situation. What I'm talking about, and this is the, again.
But why not give that story of inspiration to say you can get out of it?
First of all, you say, why not?
Why
I'm
not?
sorry. You clearly have never watched my show when what I talk about consistently are these very issues. I don't sit here and go do doom and gloom. First of all, every single Tuesday on my show, I feature actual black-owned businesses. Every single Wednesday, I feature African-Americans who have tech companies.
I love that.
Every Friday, I actually feature something called Education Matters, folks who are in the education space, school choice.
Okay, Mr. Martin, if you're doing those particular things 2 days out of the week, great, kudos to you. That is what we need. So, let me get this straight. I've seen several of your videos. I've never seen any of that, but I'm not going to sit up here and say that what you're saying and everything that you're doing that you're not doing. I'm not going to say that because I probably never watched it on Tuesday and Wednesday. But the other days, because I believe you do daily content, the other 5 days you doing this victim narrative, pushing that like if you do something positive 10 or 15% of the time, and then the remaining of the time you are a detriment, I believe you are a detriment, then which is greater, the 15% or the 85? Because 85% of the time and everything, you pushing this ridiculous narrative. But hey, at the same time, man, I'm all about freedom of speech, so you can say whatever he wants. This is how he personally believes, but I have a right to criticize.
I got HBCU Connect, so I do all of that. But one second.
But you know why I said that? Let me tell you why I said that. Because you said, I'm not the one that says, look at me, I got out, so can you. That's what you said.
No. Here's why I say that. Because it is.
No, I didn't say that, but this is why I say that. I don't know how they got muted. I apologize, guys. That's weird.
I'm assuming everyone else's situation is the same. That's first. Two, it's also arrogant to then not actually study and look at how from a macro level. See, you're describing a micro level. You can always have that singular individual or this person or that person or this family. That's micro. What I'm talking about is macro issues. And what I'm saying is when I look at communities, that's not micro, that's macro. Even within the African American community, when you dealt with Jim Crow, you couldn't live anywhere else. You literally could not live anywhere else.
This is not Jim Crow, okay? You are conflating then until now and trying to say that now is the same as then, okay? What you're saying that happened then, that fits for that particular era. That is not the reality today, okay? People, they don't have to live in just that area. People live in areas in which that they choose. You don't have to be in certain areas. There's a ton of people that even live outside of their means. We have the freedom. We have the opportunity now. So to compare it then to now is utterly ridiculous and disingenuous to your argument.
Bottom line is, if you were black and had money, and then you were black and broke, you were literally living in the same neighborhood. After Jim Crow ends with integration, what then happened? Those African Americans who were middle class, upper middle class, began to move away. What then began to happen was you had areas where poverty increased even more so.
Why move away, though? Why move away?
Because
if you care about the community, why not stay there and change it?
Well,
where do you live, Mr. Roland Martin? Do you stay in the hood? I don't think so. But you're gonna criticize the people that do. See, the reality is this. We all deserve to be safe. Okay? If a community is in the state in which it is in, and the people want to move out for the safety of their families, there's no fault in that. But you are sitting up here trying to criticize that while at the same time, you're not even there. It's like everything that this guy says, that there is a counter that destroys what he says. And this, I love how this guy's handling him in this debate, man. This is golden material.
First of all, does anybody else move?
What do you mean?
Who the hell else don't move? How do you think suburbs were created?
But wait a minute.
What do you mean? How do you think white flight was created? So everybody else get to move, but we can't move?
But if you act like you care about the community as much as you do, stay there.
But hold on, but I'll answer your question. Do you know why? Because when African Americans were living in black neighborhoods, they also had economically depressed housing values, and the reality is they were not able to then.
The housing values are decreased because of the crime rate. If you want the housing value to be higher, then how about you more than just on Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Use your platform to sit up here to come up with ways to decrease the crime rate in our communities. Now, I don't want to get out of line. I don't want to sit up here and tell you what to do. And if you were to ask me the question what I'm doing, I haven't done anything. But if my platform becomes bigger than what I expect, I will most definitely try to do something. That's actually my end goal. Because even though I'm not in the community in which that I am from, I love it. It's a part of who I am. But okay.
Shit. Help change it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I'll give you an idea. Are you familiar with Palmdale?
I'm going to need you to be drug tested. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you even know today? We've done the stories in Florida. When somebody's black selling their house, the appraisers will come in and literally give them a value $100,000 to $300,000 less because they're black. You know that's actually happened, right?
You'll take one story and say that.
Oh my God!
Right. You'll take. See, like here's the thing. When he comes at him with an argument to kind of what he says. He'll go forward with this exception and not a rule type scenario. And then when Roland Martin says something, and he'll pull like they'll paint these stories and everything, and have this as a standard. I know I don't own a home yet, but I know a lot of black people that own homes, and I know black people that have gotten more money than what their house was actually worth. Okay. So yeah, when certain things happen and everything, like yes, you call it out, you bring it to the table, and then you allow the law to handle it. Okay, but that is not the overall experience. And when you say that, put this out on your platform and everything, people are going to believe that all white people are racist and they're not going to get the value of their house because of their black. Pretty extreme, if you ask me.
On how many occasions has that happened?
Are you serious?
Do you think a message like
why don't you go ahead and Google? Why don't you go ahead and Google?
How many times has that happened? No, I believe it's happened, but how many times has that happened?
The New York Times literally just did a story talking about the systemic racism that exists within housing appraisals. This is a fundamental problem. I'm trying to see you're living in a different reality.
What progress are you making by saying that?
What progress?
So what you're doing?
I'm trying to end that. Okay. Do you know how inherent? Okay, hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
You're trying to.
Hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
I am. Yes.
How would you feel? How would you feel?
Yes.
If you're selling your home, you've got a home that you know,
right?
And you put upgrades in it, and you know your home is worth $500,000.
Yeah.
And somebody comes into your home, and they see your photos,
right?
And they see your family, and then they go back and they go,
okay. Number one, federal law has forbidden racial, religious, or any other form of discrimination in terms of housing appraisals. Number one. That's a fact. Fact number two is this. Know your property. Do the research. Have a number. And if somebody sits up here and comes to you with a number that's completely off on the number in which that you got, because you can do the research and find out what to expect, then question it. Don't just accept it. And then never take a appraisal bid from just one person. Do it with multiples. Come up with a number and everything that's going to be comfortable for you. That's just a tip.
350,000. You go. What the hell?
So you tell that story.
Wait, one second.
To get people to be convinced that's happening.
It's actually
out of 1,000 appraisals. Oh my God. Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen?
You want to pull that up?
Yeah, please.
You want him to pull that up?
That's your world, though. Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Let's just say it happens.
It is a significant issue in America.
Oh my God!
And wait, one second. And then when the woman, a black person should not have to remove their photos from the wall and remove black art and remove black books to have a white appraiser then come in and go, oh, it's actually 550. One second, because I'm going to show you how it impacts generationally.
Here we go.
So when you, follow me here, because this is housing discrimination in America. When you then get that lower appraisal, you then cannot sell your house for the higher value, which then means you are not then taking those proceeds and being able to invest, being able to send your kids to school. And what I'm trying to explain to you is
he's going all the way around the question.
There is a world out here that for some reason you're like living in Unity world that ain't the real America.
And how about this, man? This may become a shocker to you and everything, but there are black housing appraisers. So, hey, just to be safe from the systemic racism, how about you hire some other black to do it?
Brother, you have
and
the
I'm trying
wrong
to
guy.
get rid of that stuff.
You have the wrong guy here. You have the wrong
I'm trying to
guy
get
here.
rid of it.
Okay, good for you. I am as well. But you have the wrong guy here. And here's what I mean by that. So when you ask the question, what do you do if they appraise your house $350,000 less, right? That's your question. Okay. I don't see myself as a victim. I stopped looking at myself as a victim a long time ago. And by the way,
And on top of this, it is so ignorant and naive to think and believe that appraisers are going to be completely honest even with white people. Like there's no scammers that they won't sit up here and try to lowball you so they can increase their profits. So they're only going to lowball minorities. It never happens with white people, right? White people don't get low bid appraisals ever. It's just utterly ridiculous. Like, there's black people who actually think that white people can get away with everything. Even though all you got to do is go on to your local jail and you're going to see a lot of white people there. White people get shot and killed by police actually more than black people do. There's more white people on welfare. There's more white people in jail. Like, you think just because they don't have the melanin in their skin like we do that they're just living scot-free. There are more white people in poverty in the United States. Like, it just does not make any sense. And then you don't see white people making platforms against other white people and saying that, hey, man, these ain't real white people. It's just so stuck. Oh, my God.
In Armenian and Assyrian, you know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? You know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? They sell victimhood mentality. I'm raised with that, which is the statement of mechka. I know you don't know what the word mechka means. Mechka means, oh, poor Roland, oh, poor PBD. I don't see myself as a victim. And the other part is when you use one story as an example to divide and get people even angrier because out of 1,000 appraisals this happened one time, I don't think you're unifying when you say a statement like that to say, hey, this is what's taking place all the time. But going back to it, so you left because you wanted better economic situation for yourself.
Listen to what you.
Then on top of that, okay, there are situations to where maybe they don't want the black person in the neighborhood, and they'll buy their house at a ridiculous amount of money because of that. The thing about racism and everything, yes, 100% it exists. Okay? But it is not at the level of Jim Crow as this guy speaks. And there's things written into federal law that will protect us if we are discriminated against. It should not be the focus. The focus that we should have and be so proud of is the content of our character. The great Dr. Martin Luther King said that. That's what matters. Play clip.
You just said. Again,
I'm having a hard time listening to what you just said when you're saying
it's so fundamentally flawed because when you say, "Oh my God," you see yourself as a victim.
You do.
No,
you're selling it as a victim.
No, I'm not. What I'm selling is a reality. What I'm selling is when this is again. Since you didn't, I guess you couldn't pull it up. Okay.
Oh, he did pull it up.
Okay, the Biden administration, the Federal Housing and Finance Agency, released 47 million appraisal reports to the public for the first time. The appraisals, which were compiled between 2013 and 2021, present evidence of a persistent, widespread practice in the home appraisal industry to give higher values to homes when the occupants are white and devalue them if the owners are people of color.
That's such bullshit. That's
my
such
God.
bullshit. You know why?
Hold up.
Let me tell you why that's such bullshit.
They actually took the reports and showed the data, and now you call it bullshit.
Of course I call it bullshit.
So wait a minute. So you ask for the data and the facts.
No.
And now you give your opinion because you don't like the facts.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Do you run a company?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when you run a company, how much shit can I find in the OPEX? How much
in the what?
With OPEX. When I go into my balance sheet and I look at my expenses, my monthly expenses, what I'm paying for, rent, employees, benefits, workers' comp, I can give a number and say, we lost $280,000 this year. And it's like, oh, my God, we lost $280,000. And then I open up the balance sheet, and then, boom, I'll see you're moving your face like you don't know what I'm talking about.
First of all, no.
When I see a data like this, tell me the whole story. To jump to conclusion with something like this without seeing the entire story is ludicrous to make a comment like that. But
analyzing the millions of appraisals by using census tracts as a proxy for neighborhoods and comparing communities with nearly identical housing stock, two researchers found that the results showed a clear correlation. The higher the proportion of white residents in each community, the higher the appraised value of individual homes. They compared similar data. See, again, you want to reject the facts. And what I'm trying to explain to you I
am refusing to constantly have people give data without me having access to the entire thing for their own benefit to divide
So
it.
what you're saying is, in order for you need access to the 47 million home appraisals.
I'd love to see
yourself.
I would love to see it.
Okay, guess what? It's a federal agency. File a FOIA.
I'd love to see it.
File a FOIA.
But here's file a what?
A FOIA.
Okay, so I'd love to see it. You know why? Here's the part. How often do you see data being used and we don't know the whole story? Both sides. How often?
Well, first of all, we see data out there, but what I'm saying, I'm looking at data, actual data, and I'm also looking at a reality. And here's what I'm saying to you. And again, this is what you, for some reason, you're not fully accepting. What is the most consistent way Americans have been able to actually build wealth? It has been through housing. That's been historical. And when you are black in America, this is not an opinion. This is not a perspective. It is a fact. What we have seen is when you have been unable to enter the housing industry, meaning covenants saying you can't sell to black people, then when you actually buy a home and they've been grossly undervalued, that then limits you from being able to sell your home at a higher value and now take the profits and then create a business and then be able to send your kids to college. And what I'm saying to you is when that has been persistent, when you look at the appraisals, one, when you look at inability where you're buying a house, two, all of a sudden now you see a clear way how African Americans have been impacted. Not historically, but still in present day. And what I'm saying to you is, whether you are Democrat or Republican, I want that to change because what I want
You've had 53 years. The Democrats
when Republicans were president and in charge, they didn't change this.
Wait a minute. Democrats have had the black vote for 53 years. What have you done?
You're not even answering the question.
What's that?
On this issue right here, Roland, is Democrat, Republican, independent. It is a systemic American problem.
You still haven't answered my basic question. I asked you about 27 out of 30 cities.
This is a very, very important question that I would like to ask. Okay? How? Because this whole entire system, this systemic racism that you're talking about and everything, you do understand and realize that this system and everything is created. I mean, not created. It's ran and operated by the people in which they are in leadership. Robots is not doing this. It's the people that's in leadership. So either the Democratic leaderships in these cities that you're talking about, they are aiding and supporting and keeping life to this entire systemic racism you're talking about, or you're full of shit. I believe this is just full of shit. Because the leadership in which that we elect are in control of all of these things. So, in these Democratic ran cities and stuff like this, they're contributing to what you call the problem, the systemic racism. It's not making any sense. It's a contradiction. I think there's probably going to be a perfect title for this video. Roland Martin's victimhood contradiction. I'll probably say something else, though.
You blame the state.
No. I answer the question.
What did you say?
I said to you, you show me high crime areas. I am explaining to you how they're high crime areas. And what I'm saying.
None of it has to do with their policies.
What?
High crime cities in America, none of it has to do with Democrats running
and you
those
can't
cities.
even name the policy. What policy? Give me 3 Democratic policies.
The point is, you can't name the policy.
Oh
this is
God.
your world.
It's
right.
right.
If I'm in the business world and you ask me a question,
Pat, ending cash bail, defunding the police, which is in our faces, refusing to prosecute categories of crimes, letting thousands of convicted felons out on prison release, cutting prison population.
He got the stuff right there. Oh my God. Yes. What's the explanation of sitting up here cashless bails? Like what? Okay, let's play this, man. Let's get juicy.
So that right there, that's the reason for high crime in the last 20 years?
No, I'm just saying that's the article from from New York Times.
you still haven't answered.
No, I'm actually answering.
Yeah.
And here's the whole deal. First of all, when you talk about the issue of ending cash bail, that's actually only been very recent. 2, ain't no defund the police. The reality is you have seen a major increase in funding of police.
Democrats.
Okay. Number one, their whole entire defunding the police movement and everything was utterly ridiculous. Okay, yes, it's not, because we wasn't going to allow that to happen in the first place. But it sure did not stop the entire 2020. The anti-Trump thing that people were sitting up here doing, chanting and talking about pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon, and all this other crap was not the reality of the expectations that some people on the left were asking for. That there are women in power, Democrats talking about we need to defund the police and we need to bring in a social worker instead. You cannot escape that actual reality because that's exactly what happened.
Defund the police 2 years ago for an entire year.
That's a flat out lie. There were individuals.
You can say that with a straight look on your face.
I can tell you right now. I have actually talked directly.
So who came up with defund the police?
Who came up with it? Activists did.
Right. Activists were Republicans or Democrats?
They were activists. First of all, they hate both parties. You don't even talk to them.
But
I do.
But the Democrats in Congress were repeating it.
No.
He wouldn't talk to him, but he's talking to you. So you're gonna say like you are considered to be extreme when it comes to the left. You like to try to say that you're not for whatever, but the way that you talk, the way that you speak, your perspective, your views is completely left. And you know, it's cool if that's what you want to be, then be that. But don't try to act like you're not. But why would he talk to you and not talk to them? At least give him that much credit.
No. Stop. AOC, who else? You said the Democrats in Congress. How many Democrats in Congress oppose defund the police?
A lot. But I'm saying there were still some in Congress saying you're repeating the rhetoric.
You just said some. Hell, I could quote Louis Gohmert and some crazy stuff that he says and go, well, you know what? That's Republicans. The reality is this here. Democrats, Democratic mayors, Democratic governors, and yes, Democratic president have greatly increased funding of police in this country. Ain't even a question. So you can holler, the Democrats defund the police when it shows. They've actually increased the funding.
Show the video.
They've increased the funding.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
You asked for it. Show the video.
Which video now?
Show the video I just emailed you. I just texted to you. Because
who we got? Don Lemon, Charles Barkley.
Democrats haven't said defund the police at all because they would never
say that.
No, you said Democrats haven't said it. Activists said that. Your word.
No. You said who created the phrase. I said it was activists that created the phrase.
Who came up with the concept of defunding the police?
Activists did.
And then which credible Democrats said defund the police?
There were some Democrats.
No, not some. These are some heavy-duty ones.
No.
Make
Hold
it
up.
bigger.
No.
Make it bigger.
When Democrats controlled Congress, how many votes they had?
Here you go.
When Democrats controlled Congress, how many votes did they have?
You like Nancy Pelosi?
When Democrats controlled Congress, how many votes did they have? How many votes did they have?
What's your point?
The point is this here.
Pause it so we can start from the beginning.
Did 223 Democrats vote to defund the police?
Press
No.
play.
Answer the question. Yes or no?
I want you to see this. I want you to. You're asking. I'm showing you data because you asked for this.
No, you're showing me some Democrats who spoke on defund the police.
The most credible
mental
ones.
Health issues or policing in schools and all the rest. That perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to
No.
That's two.
No, that's two. That's only two. No, that's only two.
Dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
That's just
so yes, defund your
Same
butts.
person.
Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources.
Three.
No,
from
that's not
NYPD.
defund.
You're taking reallocating money.
No.
This is utterly ridiculous. This guy is hitting you with facts. Okay, like I've seen defund the police on the news like almost every day in 2022. I remember. Like it's so many examples. It's not just the activists. It's the activists, the Black Lives Matter, Antifa, CNN, MSNBC, the Young Turks, everywhere. And now that it didn't happen, and then it got voted, and the stuff got increased. Now you want to act like and pretend like it didn't happen. And, it was just one person or two person. It only takes one. Especially the people that's like the House, the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi at the time. What she says matters. Millions and millions and millions of people are going to be influenced about the things that she says. And she said it. It was her first clip. I'm talking about only one or two or three. This is... He's trying to show like a 6-minute video of people talking about defunding the police that's in position of power to actually do it.
See, I'm about to check you.
Initiatives and social services.
They are talking about
five now.
reducing
No, it's not.
the allocation of resources to that department.
You're
And I think
defunding them.
every
You're
single
wrong.
How's that
citizen
wrong?
in this
You're
country ought to be
wrong.
I
thinking
want you to
about the
explain
same
that to
thing.
me.
Yes, I support the defund.
Three.
That's the
What's
keep
gonna
going.
keep
Three.
going?
Now, let me explain to you.
How many more you want me to
So,
play?
no. So let me explain to
That's
you.
five.
No, it's three.
No,
That's
keep
five.
going. You're turning
So
your
yeah,
head
I mean, the
towards
spirit of it,
So
I
pause
It's only
it.
three.
Pause it.
Roland, it kept
By the way,
going. It
would
kept
you?
going.
Okay, hold
if
up,
you-
right there.
if-
What
would
does
you-
reallocate mean?
Would you like me
Take
to
your money
continue
away.
this?
No, it's no.
Reallocating it.
Okay. Reallocating funds, okay, was a cleanup word from defunding. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say this, okay? Let's say I got $1,000, okay? And we say defund the police, you take $100. Now I got $900. If you say reallocating the funds, you take 100 away, it's the same thing. There's less money for the department. But since you take it $100 and putting it to a social worker, it doesn't count as defunding? Really? He didn't say defund. He said reallocate the funds. He didn't say defund, reallocate the funds. That's not the same thing. You see, it's not 5 people, it's 3. Okay.
Don't spin again.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Do you understand? Do you understand that in a significant number of cities in this country,
right,
where you have policing who do everything, okay? You have in some cities where the police are handing out parking tickets, where the police are doing duties that had nothing to do with the streets. When you say reallocate, what that says is, okay, why should we have police handing out parking tickets? Why don't we have them doing the major function of fighting crime? Why don't we actually have this unit that handles that? That's called reallocation. When you talk about the issue,
bro, they're not talking about reassigning them to a different position. It was the whole entire movement about this was to combat the ongoing crime against citizens and police, is that we're going to take away their resources, reduce it. Not about, okay, you're going to do traffic duty and I'm going to take you off of traffic duty and put you on a patrol. So now you're talking about increasing police into the cities that the activists and everybody talking about they don't fucking want. That's not what they're saying at all. Like, really, bro? That's a stretch.
Issue of mental illness.
You're spinning, Roland.
No, I'm not. I'm stating facts.
You're spinning.
First of all, it makes both of you a question. Have either one of you actually covered City Hall before?
No.
No. I'm giving you. You want facts. Here's the deal. I actually have been a City Hall reporter. I have actually been in the city meetings. When you talk about,
why don't you just say you were wrong? Why don't
I'm
you
not
just
wrong.
say Democrats were wrong?
Because I'm not wrong. Because you're wrong.
No, but
hold on, Roland.
Wait a minute.
He's getting so incredibly like triggered right now, bro. This is exciting to watch. I like it. Okay.
Explain to me reallocation. Hold up, Mr. CEO.
Yeah.
When you're in a company and when you reallocate funds from one unit to the other, are you cutting funding or are you simply adjusting?
Why do you have a hard time just saying they said it? Why do you have a hard time? By the way, I can
actually
if
counted
allowed,
three people who said the words defund.
If you allowed it, you would have heard them saying defund the police. Wait a
minute. I literally heard Nancy Pelosi say shuffle. I heard Kamala Harris say reallocate.
Okay, shuffle. It's all the same, bro. It's kind of like having chicken, okay? This is grilled chicken, this is baked chicken, and this is fried chicken. But guess what? They all chicken. God, it's the same thing. Like, bro, ultimately, the department is going to have less money. That's the goal. That's the goal. Because that is a solution that some people said that's going to combat the injustice when it comes to police. Why is that so hard to say?
You go, oh, that's defund. You actually have a reallocation of resources that exist in city government, county government, state government, federal government every single day. But for some reason, you don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Was it spin when I told you that Democratic mayors and governors and the president, they've greatly increased police funding? Why? Hold up. Can you acknowledge that as a fact?
Roland,
hold up. Can you acknowledge it as a fact?
If I sit with you and you can acknowledge.
Can you acknowledge as a fact?
And you can acknowledge that your side of the party.
It's not my side.
Supported.
See, that's right there. See, you're yelling your side.
I'm not yelling my side.
It is your side because you're sitting up here defending it. If it's not your side, you will not be defending it. See, you are a critic when it comes to the Republican Party, but you are a cheerleader when it comes to the Democratic Party. Like, how are you going to separate yourself from that? I really don't get it.
Registered independent.
Here's the whole deal, though. First of all, in Texas, I don't have to register as anything.
You still are not going to acknowledge the fact that the defund the police concept was brought up
by
and
activists.
Constantly reaffirmed by some of the most powerful Democrats in America.
The Speaker of the House said
in America,
shuffling of funds. That is not defunding.
If you would
have, Kamala Harris said reallocation. That is not.
But Ilhan Omar said not only defund, she said dismantle. If she's a member of Congress, how many people are listening to that?
Stop. That's one member of Congress, right?
Oh, but you want to let the whole thing play.
There's a 7-minute video.
You want to let the whole thing play?
First of all, show me. Here's the deal. Show me 218 who defended that and actually voted for it to happen. Please. You can't. You know why?
Stop.
Because they
didn't. This is where credibility is lost.
What are you talking about?
Credibility is lost if
this is utterly hilarious. I am stating an undeniable fact.
Understand.
Democratic mayors, Democratic governors, Democratic president.
Raising your voice doesn't validate your argument.
Has increased funding. Yeah. Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago took actual COVID funds and shifted $20 million to the police department to deal with the mental issues that they were having. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that reallocation?
Maybe one of the worst mayors in America.
She took COVID money.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely the worst mayor of America. She won that title.
Hold up. COVID money and reallocated for that. Oh, but reallocation works when you agree with it.
Roland.
What I'm trying to explain to you is when you say defund, that means
rest in peace to Ella French.
Cut.
You can
defund means cut.
Do you remember earlier when I said there's a difference between persuasion and manipulation? You can spin any argument.
I'm not spinning.
You're very good at debating. You're very good at raising your voice, interrupting all that stuff.
No,
I've watched you for years.
I just think it's hilarious
but
that both of you will say that the Democratic Party has supported defund the police when the
I didn't say supported.
When the fact of the matter is
the Democratic Party came up with the idea of defunding the police,
and you're wrong.
And they supported it.
You're actually wrong.
You've not heard Republicans say defund the police. You've not heard.
Actually, you're actually wrong. In Senator Tim Scott's policing bill that he released in 2021, in the bill, I will happily send it to you.
What did he say?
He actually said.
What did he say?
You want me to read it?
I want to hear it.
No, I'm going to read it. Hold up.
Let me guess. He said reallocate.
No. That's not what he said. Because, see, what you don't understand is.
But here's what we're going to do.
No. Hold on. When the George Floyd Justice Act.
Play the entire clip.
When the George Floyd Justice Act
failed. Play the entire clip.
I literally sent this. I sent this to Senator Tim Scott, and he didn't answer my question.
When we were running for office. And I answered yes to that question.
We are going to reduce funding in the police department and redirect that
money. Is that a smart move?
There's no
reduce funding?
Police budget should just keep growing and growing and growing.
What did they do?
Cuts to police.
We propose
police cuts is a good thing.
No, it wasn't cuts.
$7 million from the
he just said that.
You don't even know what London Breed did. You don't know what she did in San Francisco.
No, that wasn't a she. That was a guy.
London Breed was speaking before her.
In cuts.
Rashida Tlaib tweeting.
Are cuts a good thing?
No more policing, incarceration, and militarization.
Police cuts are a good thing in these communities.
If they're not doing their job.
What do they say?
Oh my God! So you
want fundamental.
Right here. No. You said to me. You said, "Oh, show me Republican." When Senator Tim Scott introduced his bill, okay, on police reform, this is one of the things that he did. When it failed last year, he went on Margaret Brennan's show, CBS Face the Nation. He said, the Democrats wanted to defund the police, and that was a bridge too far. In Senator Tim Scott's own bill, they actually said, in order for police to qualify for these funds, laws will have to be passed on the city or the state level. Excuse me.
Oh my God! So you buy that into defund the police, but we need to reduce it. It's not.
See right there. You won't even.
You're so funny.
You won't even listen,
buddy. If there's anybody who doesn't listen, it's you.
No, you listen. Senator Tim Scott said that they won't get the funds if laws don't get passed.
That's defund the police.
When the George Floyd. Listen,
you're a master spinner.
No. First of all, if you listen, I'm telling you what he did. He then, a year later, calls that same thing
respect,
defund the police, and I literally, and if you want to see it, those are the text messages.
You're so funny.
I sent to Senator Tim Scott, and I said, Senator Tim Scott, please explain to me the difference between what you said the Democrats are doing, what you did.
You just hurt your argument even more.
What are you talking about?
Because what you just did is validated everybody else what they just said.
No.
Yes.
Because
that means what Kamala said, what Nancy Pelosi said. They're all saying the same thing. Defund the police. And now they realize it was a bad idea.
She did not say defund the police.
Of course. He did not either.
Oh, wait a minute. So You say what Kamala said was defund the police.
Your argument, you just screwed yourself up.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Of course you did.
No, I was specifically calling out Senator Tim Scott by trying to call something defund the police when they were simply proposing exactly what he did.
You know what's the problem? Here's the problem, Roland. The problem is when I sit down with somebody with whatever thing they believe in, okay, it's specifically a lot on the Democratic side. It's specifically.
It is a lot on the Democratic side.
It is being a Democrat before their country. It is how they vote before America. It is, nope, I'm going to defend this because there's no way these guys going to say anything wrong with defund the police. And that's where you lose credibility. All you have to say is,
you have no,
I don't acknowledge this. I don't support this. That's all you have to say.
You have no credibility on this when you can't even acknowledge what reallocation means. You have no credibility when you can't even define that. When I have actually talked to mayors and city council members, and they have walked through how.
You remember earlier in the video how he was talking about arrogance? Yeah. It's kind of like the person that got a degree and speaking with a person that don't have a degree and then say, hey, I'm smarter than you.
When London breathed,
when the policies have destroyed the cities.
Here you go. We're destroying the cities. Destroying the cities.
53 years Democrats have had to vote.
What do you mean, here we go, destroying the cities? Look at them. Look at Chicago. They literally call Chicago Chirac. What do you mean? Here we go talking about. What do you mean? I thought you came from a realm of facts. Factually speaking, these cities are being destroyed. I believe there was even a time where martial law was on the table. Never happened, but I believe it was a discussion when it came for Chicago. The crime rate is ridiculous. It's multiple people dying in just one weekend. So yes, destroying the city. Would you rather call it a peaceful protest? Or it's not the black people's fault they're shooting one another. It has to do with the systemic racism. No accountability at all.
When the mayor of San Francisco talked about the mental illness crisis in their particular city, and they said we need to be sending mental health folks out on calls and not always the cops. Now, we've seen numerous examples where that happens. What has actually happened in the last 30, 40 years in Democrat and Republican cities and states in the country? We've seen a massive cut with mental illness. What is the greatest increase of incidents?
Again.
No,
Spin
I'm not.
again.
I'm stating fact.
Yeah.
What you don't like, what you refuse to acknowledge or accept, because you're stuck on Democrats have had it for 53 years. You act as if. No, wait, hold up. You act as if in those 53 years, Republicans have never had power. You act as if Republicans have never had the House or the Senate or the White House.
Okay. In a lot of those areas, yes, Republicans didn't. There's certain areas like California and everything that is going to be a predominantly run, and they're going to win. That's why it's called red and blue states. Okay? And when you have the opportunity, like right now, for instance, okay, the guy that you want is in office. You should be at the forefront about all of your ideas and everything about what needs to happen, and then hold them accountable for it. But when they don't, you're not going to hold them accountable for it. You're gonna sit up here and just tuck your tail. But when somebody else gets back in office, which is going to happen in 2024. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. But when somebody else gets back into office and everything, you're going to criticize everything that he says and do. You don't keep that same energy.
what
so
I said
here's
to
the
you.
question.
I said to you.
Show me how the Republicans
There's no way to
changed.
talk with you, bro. I got to tell you. So
show me how Republicans changed.
So here's what I tell you.
Give me examples.
Are you going to let anybody speak?
I'm waiting for your examples.
If you have 92% of an entire community's vote.
Like the evangelicals?
For 60 years.
Like the evangelicals?
Evangelicals are also part of that black vote. If you have 92%.
You actually don't understand evangelicals, black evangelicals.
If you have 92% of the black vote for 59 years, 59 years later, 27 out of 30 cities for crime are ran by Democrats, your policies don't work.
And let me ask you this question.
People have to revisit.
I'm going to ask you again.
Let me finish and I'll let you talk. You either have to consider new policies or the voters have to consider a new party. Okay, so if you enjoyed this clip,
Okay. Sorry for the length of this video. If you guys have made it to the end of this video, you guys are super awesome. Thank you. I'm loving it. Please let me know in the comment section how you feel about this. Is Mr. Roland Martin, is he correct? Is he delusional? Is what he's saying is facts? Let me know. If you've been listening to my take on this entire video, you know exactly how I feel. But I greatly appreciate any and everyone who's been watching this video. Please rate, comment, and hey, man, give me a chance. Even subscribe. I'm new to this YouTube thing, and I hope to do more videos in the future. Dante out.